What are your feelings and excitement level towards Four Nations Face-Off coming up?
Hey, I'll be I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll be in Mexico on a beach, and I don't think I'm gonna watch a single thing about it.
How about some in-studio Jakub Lauko? Folks said he wouldn't be here. Bam! What's up, buddy?
What's up, fellas?
We're big on revenge games when we're in our slate grades. Would you say that the meeting here in Boston is going to be a revenge game for you?
Nah, I don't think about it like that. But obviously, it's gonna be a little bit more motivation for me to play this game.
Do you think you're going to get a tribute video? Because, buddy, they give everybody a tribute video, and if you don't get one, it means they did not like you.
Dude, I hope they won, because I play here 2 years. I don't want to get into that embarrassment moment when I would be there and then social media will, why are they getting a video for a player like me?
Oh,
so
no,
you
buddy.
don't want one because people.
No, I would be happy with welcome back. I'm like, oh, nice, thank you, but please no.
Oh
no, I would not, because I don't think I don't think you deserve it after playing 2 seasons with a one team.
Well, because of us, they're going to be talking about it either way. We're going to hype up whether or not there's going to be a revenge. There should be a revenge video. As you're taking the ice, it just shows you skating and says, watch out for this guy. He's pissed at us.
You should be able, as a player, you should be able to submit a revenge video. It's like they give you a tribute video, you can give them a revenge video, and they can play it on the scoreboard. That would rock. That would get the crowd going.
So you don't...
No, I just it's not a... I don't want it, but I don't think I would deserve it for I think there are guys who are playing for the team for multiple seasons, for 6, 7 seasons. I think those guys should deserve to get a video because they left a big mark at one team. Obviously, I was with the organization for a longer time, but for my time being in Boston, I don't think I would deserve.
But I think you're underestimating how much they do this now. You're gonna get something. You'll just maybe even if it's just a quick welcome back, Jakub Lauko.
Yeah,
you'll get something.
If I would get a welcome back, I'm like, okay, thank you guys, appreciate it. But I don't think I should be in the category to get a tribute video.
What if they just let you pick the Bruins beats or something? Just some way of getting you up there.
Okay. I remember I was always putting some songs, but I don't think they were appropriate enough to be put on a Bruins beats.
Yeah, it's interesting that you think you don't deserve it, because I think you are underestimating that, given your style of play and given your charm, how much fans loved you. Did you feel very beloved in Boston? Because you were a fan favorite.
I obviously I like to play here. It was an honor to play for our Original Six team, and yeah, I obviously, I'm not a guy who's going to be breaking points records or anything, but, I'm trying to play hard and, be hard to play against. So, yeah, I think that kind of hockey is maybe fan-friendly, I would say so. So, yeah, obviously I liked it, the support from fans and anything, but, yeah, I'm with Minnesota. And I'm super, super happy and great to be with the team now.
How has the reception been from Minnesota sports fans? Has it been sort of the same kind of thing that you experience in Boston?
I would say, from what I experienced, the fan base here is pretty tough for losses and everything. So, Minnesota,
just don't lose then.
Yeah, just don't lose.
Good thing you got out this year.
Yeah. For real.
No, but it's been Minnesota. Minnesota has been great, with fans and everything. It's not as big of a market, or the team doesn't have as much of a history as a Boston. But the fans are great there. They're talking about hockey. They are very, very passionate about it, and they love to be in Wild fans. Yeah,
it's also a fun part in that team's history right now, because they're starting to turn a corner, and obviously Kaprizov's hurt right now, but he has finally, I guess, landed on the global radar. I don't understand why people didn't already think that he was incredible, but like the season that he was having before he got hurt, the season that Winnipeg got off to, the start they got off to, and for the Wild to then surpass them, like I feel like Minnesota's been part of the conversation more than it has in a while. So I know you're new to the team, but does the team have some sort of air of like, hey, like we're doing something here, we're making some movement?
I think one of the things that like many fans don't like know or don't take into account is the cap problems. They still paying off that contracts from
Parise.
Yeah. So
Suter.
they're missing like a big chunk of cap space. So
like $14 million or something like that.
Yeah. So that's a lot of money. Like so, and you can tell like there's younger guys. Fapes, Bolts, Marco Rossi, Kirill is still 27 or he's going to be 28, so he's still young. Eki is young too. I had no idea that Gus is 98. I thought, like, when I met him, I thought he's like 30, but he's actually like 26, 27. So the team is young, and I think they're going to be just getting better in next years.
Do you feel like the Western Conference is just like an absolute gauntlet? Because we always talk about it. Out west, there are just so many good teams.
Yeah, like that's a good like to compare it when I was playing in the East, now in the West, and those like Central Division matchups are hard. Like playing Winnipeg, Dallas, Colorado, those teams are good.
And
those teams are really good.
Yeah, like St. Louis isn't going away. Like this is if not the most, like one of the most interesting divisions in hockey this year. Because as I said, you go from a team that's having a historically good year to, wait, how did Minnesota now pass this team? And Colorado's been lurking forever, but they've figured out their goaltending, so now they're good. And St. Louis is just never going to go away. So even when the team is having success, I'm imagining, especially for a team that hasn't been in the playoffs a ton of late, there can't be any sort of comfort there or like resting on your laurels, right?
Yeah, you got Utah too. Utah is playing really good. They have a young team, so they will be just getting better as well. So Chicago is a team for the future. They have it tough now, obviously, because they have a young team. But all the teams there, like you got Nashville. Who's not having like the greatest year, but obviously
that's one way of putting it.
Yeah, I mean, it's maybe just not clicking for them, but they were playing good. Like playing against them was a hard games, really hard games. So there's not an easy team like in the whole NHL, and obviously more in Central.
What's Hines like?
He's he doesn't show a lot of emotions. He's doesn't really show like a lot of excitement or stuff like that, which I noticed. But he wants us to play hard, to compete. Really, like he's pretty strict on those details to be good in the defensive zone, to play the defensive hockey the best. So and he. Yeah, I don't have really like no problems with him. He's been great. He's been great with me. I think with all the other guys too. So he's been good. He's been really good.
How do you feel about the Utah name situation? You got any opinions there?
I think that's tampering if he answers. No, you could say it.
No, I wish it was Yeti.
Yeah.
Honestly, I did. I think it was so stupid from that Yeti company to not like allow them to have it.
Power move though. If somebody was like, hey, I want to make something called Lauko, you wouldn't be like, bitch, I'm Lauko. That's a cool move.
But at the same time, like they could have make up some sponsorship and like associate them with them. I think like it kind of shit bad with it. Not gonna lie, the company they did.
Yeah. I have you seen any of the renderings of the mascots or the logos?
Oh, did it came out like today? Yeah.
The one that they would use for Utah Hockey Club, which it seems where we were guessing is probably the one they would have used for Yeti, is like a mountain with a beard.
Yeah. I saw that.
Hard. Look at that.
It's good.
So good.
Oh yeah. I think that Outlaws one was my least favorite from these three.
Agree.
And the Mammoth one was
It's okay.
I don't mind it. Yeah, we always like talk about it in our locker room, like to just like, oh, what is that like? What's such? What's that? How do you even pronounce
Buddies,
it?
you
Don't
missed the
go
show
there.
from
There
last
was-
week. We argued about it for like 40
There
minutes.
was a screaming match on
Oh,
Thursday because
Wasatch.
it's yeah, oh, you got it. So it's
Yeah.
Wasatch. None of us knew how to say it, and Pete and Sean contended you can't name it that if everyone's going to struggle to say it.
Yeah.
And my thought was like, I didn't always know how to say Lauko, and I learned.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think it's a slippery slope if we say we're going to throw out stuff that we struggle to say, because especially Americans, we can be a bit stubborn with I don't know that thing. Get rid of it.
No, we talk about like what is that, like just trying to find out. But yeah, I honestly like I'm a little sad that it's not Yeti, because that would be my favorite, of course, for sure.
Did you have any conversations about all the shit that went down this weekend trade wise? It was a busy weekend.
Yeah, like it was. I always like just brought up like, oh, it happened. Like what was the counter from them, or like who was getting traded to other teams. So yeah, like obviously, like guys, we talk about it. Yeah.
Well, what got more juice, the hockey trades or the basketball trade?
Oh, I think the NBA traded it out of nowhere. So that was like literally like probably everyone in the States or like what the fuck happened.
Yeah. I woke up to a text from Sean in our group text, which is just all hockey, and it was Luka Doncic is a Laker, and I was like, jumped out of my bed, and then just like, okay, that's gonna be my day now. And I was in a hotel. Everybody is just like running around, being like, "Oh, yeah. What happened?" So does that happen with? I would assume it has to with other athletes.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I'm not a big basketball fan. I'll watch in playoffs. I love watching basketball playoffs. But when trade like this happens out of nowhere, like it's brings some buzz. Yeah.
Are you one of the conspiracy theorists?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Oh, yeah?
Just in general, doesn't matter. It's like, yes.
A big conspiracy guy. Yeah.
Which conspiracy do we want to get into here? No. I mean, I don't understand. Like, what is the conspiracy theory? That the league rigged it so that Luka would go to the Lakers?
I just think so. Obviously, Kobe was not playing. They didn't have anyone to take Kobe's place. Mm-hmm. They brought LeBron, and now you don't know how long LeBron's gonna play. And I think Lakers need another face of the NBA. That might be one thing, but I don't know.
To that, I would say the Lakers are. I wouldn't worry about the Lakers in that regard. Yes, they've gone a few years at various points without having a superstar, but people are always going to want to go to LA. I hate to say this, and I hope that it's not true. My first thought, conspiracy theory-wise, was like, what are we about to find out about this man? What has Luka Doncic done? And not to compare him to any quarterbacks or kickers, but like, is there going to be some story that made a team say, we want to be far from the blast radius when this goes off? And then there was also the conspiracy theory that maybe they were going to get an indication that Luka was going to demand a trade this summer, in which case they weren't going to have much leverage, so they just might as well go out. I will say in defense of the Mavericks, and Sean might disagree with me, if I'm trading Luka and I want to get a big back, I know I'm not getting Jokic, I would rather trade for AD than I would like Embiid or somebody like that. So if they had designs on we're still going to try to contend and this is what our team needs to look like, I guess it makes sense. But to bring it back to hockey terms, it reminded me of the Joe Thornton trade, in which it just seems like a team said, this guy's really good, but I just don't think I'm going to win with him, so I'm going to trade him. They trade him, and then the rest of the league is like, what? I would have jumped in on that. Yeah. So the big shocker is, like, in the NHL, it doesn't really happen, Jakub, where a top player gets traded and everybody else is like, we didn't know that guy was available. Because usually there was a bidding war, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's something fishy.
I think the biggest thing about it was that it literally came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It was that what the fuck effect, like of it, because no one knew that this is happening. So I feel like that was the biggest thing. Maybe if you look at it the way you're saying that, like they got AD for it, probably someone's counter would be bigger package, but at the same time, if there was something going on behind the scenes that like, okay, we need to get rid of Luka or something, might be like a good trade at the end of the day, but it was just that it happened out of nowhere, that thing that everyone's crazy about.
To bring it back to hockey trades and shocking moves, I'm sure part of you as a Central Division player thought Rantanen out of the division, not the worst thing in the world. What do you know about Necas? Good Czech boy?
Oh, Necas, he's a really good guy, and he's a unbelievable hockey player.
Yeah,
unbelievable. He's like probably the hardest guy to play against in summertime. That's impossible. Like the guy's doing whatever he wants, and now it seems like he's doing it even in NHL. So he is fast. He's stronger than he looks because he's kind of like taller, leaner, but he's strong. He's quick. Like his the way he can change directions and everything, like pull-ups and stuff, like it's crazy. And he is very, very smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So when
he's a really smart hockey player. Yeah.
So when that deal goes down, I know that we all kind of huddle around the Rantanen of it all, but do you see that? And as a Czech guy who knows him, are you like, oh fuck? Yeah,
he's like him with McKinnon and Makar on one power play is gonna be, you got McKinnon, who is arguably like definitely top 5 player in the league, maybe top 3, and Makar, who is top 2 defenseman in NHL, maybe the best one, and with Marty, who I know that is absolutely unbelievable hockey player. They are scary.
Damn. How do you say his name, by the way? Because he's one where people say Necas, Necas. How do you, being a Czech guy?
Necas.
Necas?
Yeah, Necas.
Necas. All right.
What do you know about him personally? Like, are you friends with him? What's his personality like?
We played with each other like a national team tournaments, everything. Like I see him multiple times during the summer. Like he's a really guy, like nice guy, humble guy. He. Like from I know him like when we were like much younger. He's still the same guy.
I feel like he was very well liked in Carolina, and we love the video of him doing the bird thing.
Have you seen the video of him doing the bird thing?
The bird thing?
Seems like a very funny young man. He's doing a game where, and I'm sure Sean will splice it in post, but it's
so fucking funny.
I shit you not, the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
and he kills it.
He's a really good guy. Yeah.
So I would have traded for him like just off of that.
Yeah.
I've been like, hey, does the room need anything? It doesn't. Whatever. Fuck it. Let's get this guy.
Yeah.
He plays the bird game.
Speaking of national teams, what are your feelings and excitement level towards Four Nations Face-Off coming up?
Hey, I'll be. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll be in Mexico on a beach, and I don't think I'm gonna watch a single thing about it.
You're so fucking mad.
Yeah.
Are you mad?
No. I just hope none of our players gonna get injured during that, and I hope they do well. But it's not something that I'm about to watch. Yeah.
We should do a series where it's asking non-American, Canadian, Finnish, or Swedish players about Four Nations Face-Off, because I
think there would be a general vibe.
Yes,
around the
your
reception to
countryman David Pasternak was not very thrilled when that was announced, understandably so.
Yeah.
I pushed back on how much people kept saying best on best, where best player in the league this year, respectfully, I think is Leon Draisaitl, and he's not in the best on best thing, so it's not a best on best thing.
Yeah.
That said, brother, I'm watching the fuck out of this. I'm just so excited, because hockey's not going to be going on, and we're going to get to see some cool lines and everything. But I do respect that players not from those countries are like, I don't give a fuck about this tournament.
Fuck that tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I know what's the whole situation, with Russia and everything. I know it's what is happening there is not great, but I mean, like, do we really need to exclude them like that much from like a sport? Can you like same time, like, I obviously know what are the reasons to not like put Czech team on there because there's not enough player to fill the whole roster. But at the same time, they could have done like, mix of like they could have done like Czech and Slovakia together, and I think they could done like maybe like Swiss, Austria,
like when they
Germany.
Did when they did the World Cup tournament, they had the rest of Europe.
Like they could have done that, and I think Russia should be on it as well.
I mean, I agree too.
If they really wanted to do, sorry for interrupting, but if they really wanted to do like a best of the best, they should have found like some middle ground or some compromise to put their other teams to make it really like the best players on the best. Because like the best tournament without Pasta, the best tournament without Kirill, without Panarin, Kucherov, Draisaitl, Hischier, those guys. I mean, like, that's not a best on best,
I agree. The phrasing "best on best" has gotten to me every time. I'm like, it's not best on best. It's going to be a lot of fun. I agree with what Pete's saying, though. You can just do what you did during that World Cup of Hockey, where you kind of mix some teams together and you do a team North America or whatever. But
pretending that like this isn't a gimmick when it's definitely a gimmick rubs me the wrong way a little bit.
But I think you, Pete, we do pretend it's a gimmick, which we can get excited for a gimmick.
Yeah.
We'll fuck with a gimmick with the best
World Cup of Hockey. The two funnest things about that tournament were arguably the gimmicks. Team North America was so much fun. Oh, yeah. And Europe was like, it was just a wild collection of players, and everybody had fun.
Made it to finals, right?
Yeah. And you talked about some countries not having enough good players. If there was a Team Germany that was Draisaitl, Stützle, Mo Seider, and then anybody else, I'd still be pumped to watch those games.
Yeah.
Quentin Byfield, is that where
That's
you
right.
Did you say Peterka?
No.
JJ Peterka. Yeah, exactly. We found out when
Reichel from Chicago.
Yep.
We found out when Quentin Byfield was on with us that he's part German. So we're very excited to toss him on Team Germany. But the thing, and not to make it geopolitical and everything, but the exclusion of Russia, I just don't think Kirill Marchenko has anything to do with any of that.
Guy just goes to the zoo all the time.
Like, Kirill Marchenko's the sweetest, coolest, and like
he rocks.
Most amazing, fun hockey player.
Yeah.
It would be so good for this tournament. But for now, we get a gimmicky thing. But I loved your answer that you're like, brother, I'll be in Mexico. You watch that dumb shit all you want. I know it's not what you said.
But like, you play hockey the whole year. You're on hockey the whole year. You watch so much video. You spend your time on the hockey rinks. Like, if you have 8 days, like, to do what you want to do.
Especially if you're a Minnesota Wild player. You guys have been getting fucking banged up.
Yeah. But I'll say, and I know he's out for a while now anyway, but, like, winners of... When they announced this whole thing, I said, and I'm biased because I love the Oilers, but I was like, winners of all this? Edmonton Oilers... Leon Draisaitl has been playing so much hockey the last whatever, and now all of the best players in the world, including, some of his teammates, are going to be playing hard, big games with stakes during this time, and he gets a break. Yeah. If he weren't injured, I would very much say the same thing about Kirill Kaprizov, where like this guy's got a Hart candidacy and a playoff run to build. Giving him a break while the McKinnons and the McDavids and everybody are out breaking their back, like, hey, cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, Kirill, like, obviously, like, playing against him, like, you know that, like, he's a great player, but, like, seeing him now, like, up close, like, especially the start of the season, I was like, holy shit. Like, the guy is so good. Yeah. I think same, Did Halsey was talking about it? Then Taylor Hall.
I don't know. Was he?
Was he with you? Yeah, he was
probably.
Yeah, I think he was.
Make Taylor Hall come on.
I know he was talking about it as well. That like you watching him doing those like little things. that you would not expect from a guy who was on the top of the points.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like you would not expect him to do those little things. Like the guys back checking hard. He's doing he's going to the net, like he's gonna hit a people. Then he's gonna give. I think Halsey was saying that he's doing like a little, when someone's forechecking your defenseman, so you give him like a little just skin. You just skin him a little bit, like so you not let him. But the guy's doing that, and he's doing all. And like him and Zuki, like those guys know about each other. Like they could play with the blindfolds because they are so good together. Like Kirill, what's he doing? He's doing like those little like spinoramas passes from blue line to the corner, where Zuki is just waiting there and he just like put a stick there and is going straight to the net. Those guys are scary together.
So what did you think about him as a player before you got to Minnesota? Because right now you're talking about him the way that like we talk about our favorite players, where we're
when
like,
you watch him every day.
God, I did.
Like,
so
wow.
like, how has your perspective changed on him? Because this also for a lot of fans has been an awakening with him, where now people are like, oh my God, this guy's incredible.
Yeah, he was like you said, like everyone's watching him and say, oh, he's good. Like this was the same thing. Like, okay, you're getting ready for, we're going to play Minnesota. Oh, they have Kaprizov. He's good. He's got silky hands, whatever. He's a good player. But like after you see it up close, it's something completely different.
That rocks. And do you still geek out about? I mean, I'm seeing you do it right now, but like you are an NHL player. Do you still geek out when you see guys do shit that you're like, oh yeah, how can they do that? Because it's very easy for us to not understand how guys do stuff. But like that's why hockey rocks.
Yeah. That's you see those guys like doing some stuff with the puck that I can't even imagine doing it. So it's every time, even when someone from the other team does something crazy, I'm like, oh my God, that's sick. Like you see that, and you gotta appreciate it. The good play, even if it's an opponent.
Who are the guys in the NHL right now that maybe are where Kaprizov was last year, where like we all understand they're good, but people who know are like, oh my God, that guy's so good.
Oh, one guy that's top of my list is Barkov.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I still like, obviously, like the perspective of perception of the people little changed on him, but I think still he is super underrated.
He's so good.
Even
the
still.
guy
does everything right.
Still, the guy is so good. I remember last year in the playoffs, I took a puck away from him, like lifted a stick, took it like, and I was like on the bench. I'm like. I was like, that shit? That was sick. I was like, I just took a puck from him.
That's awesome.
Didn't know you could do that.
No, but he is so good. Barkov is like the one guy that's like, there was no mistake that like they went that far, and he was like one of the best players. Yeah.
Do you guys hate the Panthers as much as people, like specifically Bruins fans, make out that rivalry to be?
I think the rivalry was I think the hateness. It's when it's done. They did their job, we did our job, so I think it's done. But while playing them, I think that was the biggest rivalry. Same with probably like Toronto, the same playoffs. Like you could feel the tension playing those teams. Yeah.
How much of that do you think is the shit stirs that were on each side? It's weird that we've reached a time in hockey where the Bruins can go up against a team that have more shit stirs than them, and that now it's just like, the old Bruins and Brad Marchand can only do so much, and Lauko, I mean, you got it there, like all that, but like that team is chock full of guys who can fuck with you.
Oh yeah, they was it's really was pain in the ass to play them, honestly, like because it was hard, you have those top players doing that, and obviously like when the top players doing that, like on every player. Like, and if you go and do it on their top players, it seems different, like in the eyes of the referees and, as well. So when you have their top player going after every player from our team, and now that, their player did something that, and you got to go after a top player, it doesn't seem same in the eyes of a referee.
Oh yeah, because if a top player, if a skilled player is really fucking with any other player on the other team, it looks to the outside like they're just playing hard. And if a lesser player does something to a better player, it looks like, oh, well, they're going after that guy,
it looks
right?
worse, yeah. Like, Tkachuk is unbelievable in that. I'm sorry, I might to say, but
Tkachuk?
he's
I have so much respect for him.
He is, I think he's an unbelievable player. Like, you know, sometimes like those things, like it's really pissing you off that he does, but he is a really good player, and he's doing what he knows the best, and he's definitely one of the best in what he's doing in the NHL, maybe the best.
I mean, never as good as what he was, but he's just the next Marchand.
Yeah, in Marshy's top form doing that. Yeah, he's like, I was so pissed. Like, we were playing at home. I think it was at home, and I was going to the bench, and he was yelling something from the other side of the ice, like my way. So I think he's like yelling something at me. So I skated the whole way there, and he was like, "Oh, fucking move! I'm moving to my. I'm talking to the bench." I'm like,
I don't think about you at all.
Yeah,
That's tough.
And I was like, "You motherfucker!"
Oh my God! Even if he wasn't doing that on purpose,
that is
a great bird would be like, "Hey, you," and then when you come over, be like, "Gee, you no, not you." And that was Tkachuk.
Yeah. And then I think it was like a first games in Florida, I think, and I was just doing warm-ups that game. So I was like hanging out around the bench with Linus, and so he was like, "Oh, they brought your sore ass down, hey?"
Oh,
and,
no.
And then he said to Linus, like, "I'm gonna see you today," because Linus was
back up, yeah.
And I think we lost like 7-2, and Linus was in the net too. So I'm like, like, guys are really good at what he's doing.
He seems like he just doesn't have an off button.
Yeah.
Good for him. That's crazy.
Damn. No, he's like, you gotta respect it. Like, he's really good at what he's doing.
I brought up the comparison of Tkachuk to Marchand. What I loved about Marchand and what I do love about Marchand presently, is that in addition to all of that package, he is always such a, why do I keep talking about him like he's dead? Is such a good two-way player.
Yeah.
That the thing you said about like it's tougher to call the penalty when it's on the good player because it just looks like they're playing really hard. When you first saw Marchand play, we've talked to him about when he saw other guys play, but what was your first impression of him? Because that really is like an all-around player plus the bullshit.
Oh, he's working really, really hard. It's like, even in a practice, it's like, I love to go those like one-on-one drills with him. And like, he was going hard, like I was trying to go hard at him, and like it just like makes you better, you know, seeing this guy, like one of the probably the best guy on a tight space as him, like picking up the puck off the boards, like doing those little cutbacks and stuff. Like, he is so good at it. And you see him just working hard, like being good on PK and everything. Like, he is good everywhere.
Those little cutbacks, man, like when he was younger, he used to just enter the zone and like curl up.
Oh,
and then like he would do so much shit from there. And then people caught on to it and he was like, whatever, I'm just going to fucking score off the rush.
Like,
he was so good.
Well, he was doing that stuff like, you know, between the legs. Like, there's one goal, I don't know if it was last season or 2 seasons ago. I think he was going on Letang or like around him, and he put it between his leg, put it like between him, and he was fighting his stick the whole time. So I think it was Letang, and he didn't have a chance to even like touch the puck. And Marshy was like slowly like working through him, and he get through him, and then he scored. I was like people just see that like that doesn't play hockey, and they might think that's not hard or that's nothing special, but it's special. He's so good at it.
Can you pick up anything from that, or are you just like, this guy exists on a different plane?
Those guys like little exist on the different planet. Yeah. There's just so much you can like learn through Harvard or something, but those guys are just, you know, somewhere completely.
This has been a dream conversation. We have to ask contractually, what have you thought about the reaction to episode 1 of Jakub Lauko Movie Club? A lot of buzz?
That was actually a funny thing because I wanted to tell you guys, but I saw Flower watching The Substance on the plane.
No way! What did he think of it?
Yeah, he was like, I saw him and like, Flower, are you liking this movie? And I was like, I don't know.
Was it because you?
I don't think it was because of it. But,
I do.
But it was. And I told him like, yeah, it's you're the beginning. Wait. So he had like a very similar reaction to the last scene like we did. So it was just funny because I saw him sitting like across. He's sitting on the other side, and I just saw him that he's watching it. I'm like. I gotta ask him how you feeling about it.
Somebody on that plane was definitely like, "What the fuck is going? Why did all of them keep watching this movie?"
I like the idea of people not knowing it's a movie and being like, "What show are people? How many episodes are there of this thing?" I want to stop seeing it on my screen. Yeah, we were supposed to have Flower today, and it just didn't work out scheduling wise. That makes sense to me because I imagine this season. That guy is so loaded up with all sorts of just bouquets being thrown at him. As an insider and kind of outsider, what's it been like seeing all that adoration thrown on him? Because I feel like I would be overwhelmed by that if I were him.
Yeah, he's just unbelievable person. Like, and not even talking about like him as a goalie, because like the stuff that he's doing this season, even at the age that he is, like it's crazy. He's still really good. It's so hard to score him in practice. Like the guys just, he just saves it, like do his like windmill and like laugh at you and like saved it. And he's just amazing. Like the way that, like you said, it can be overwhelming sometimes. You see him, seeing the dozens of people waiting for his signatures and something, and you can tell that like sometimes it's overwhelming for him, but he still goes and sign it for everyone. He brought a kid to our practice to practice with him. Just teach him some things. Like he's been unbelievable, and you can tell by all the away teams giving him like some tribute, like especially when we were in Montreal, and during the Canadian anthem, they probably for like more than a half of the Canadian anthem, they put the camera on him, and so the whole stadium was start like cheering during the Canadian anthem for Flower, and most of the guys on the bench were like, "Fuck!" Like I was having goosebumps.
I was I'd be crying.
I was so like it was so emotional. Like I know him for how long is it? 6 months, 7 months maybe, but I was so overwhelmed with like emotion. I'm like, we gotta win this game for him because like I know it would mean so much for him. And you can tell even at the end, like every whole building was cheering Flower after the game. After
their home team gets shut out.
After home team gets shut down, yeah, it was crazy. It just says a lot about what he did for the hockey in general, and it says a lot about the person he is. Yeah.
You are the best for coming here, and part of, in addition to just like what a great and funny person you are. We love talking to you. You brought up Halsey. You just love hockey so much, and that just radiates off you, man. So you are like, you're gonna continue to have a great career, but keep doing shit like this. Yeah. Like go on, like do shows, do whatever in the off season. Like you're so good at this.
Yeah, I mean, like I honestly I don't know how to describe it rightly, but the hockey is little. Like conservative, I would say, in general.
Yeah.
And I just like wish it was more open, for everyone, because all the personalities in the locker rooms, and like it's just like sometimes it's sad that like the hockey is not doing that good of a job in marketing like trying to marketing those guys, you know, to show them more like how are they doing, what are they doing in the like in their off time or something.
That's exactly what we've been trying to do with this show. Like we want when shows like this have guests, the numbers and everything for the guests don't always necessarily do that well, because sometimes it's with the guest that you have to kind of get a little more conservative and, hey, how's the team doing? How's that? And we did a little bit of that with you, but mostly it's just fun that Jakub Lauko, a person who is cool, is here, and your personality adds to whatever's going on. So that's what we hope shows like ours can do. But yeah, man, tell your team, tell like everybody, like if they want a place, there are places, us, empty netters, whatever, that are trying to kind of get that out there, because we know just from like when I was a beat writer, when the recorders weren't rolling, I knew, I was like, some of these guys are funny and some of them want to, like there was a player that I would, after on Mondays, we'd always catch up on Walking Dead and just talk about whatever. Really? Like that shit happens. So I know, and you're the best of them, but there's more of you out there who have these personalities.
But it's kind of like, I understand it from like a player's perspective. Like I like honestly, like I don't give a shit what other people's thinking. Yeah. But like, you know, like I tweet something about a video game or about a movie, and the first thing I like, one of the first thing I can read under it is like, you should be focusing on hockey more. And I'm like, dude, like, what are you doing after 9 hours of work? Are you at home thinking about the work?
Staring at the wall, thinking about what work.
Yeah, like we are human beings as well. Like we doing what we like in the free time, you know, and it's just like those are the little things that like maybe sometimes like you have a people just ripping you for doing what you like in a free time because they think that all you should do is focus about hockey.
Damn, yeah. And
you know, it's sometimes like I can understand it, like you don't want to deal with like those people like just ripping you apart for doing something else than just hockey.
Yeah, if they have a good heart though, and I know that that's not what the internet is for, it's not for having good hearts, I think you would understand that, like, say you had a bad game or something 2 weeks ago, and then you take a picture and you're hiking or something. Yeah. They're like, maybe you're on that hike because you don't feel so good about that game you had. Yeah. And you're trying to go when you're trying to feel better and everything like that.
Trying to keep your mind out of that.
And if the comment is going to be like, oh, great, you're running around on mountains with your friends instead of working on your game. Yeah. That's kind of missing the point.
Yeah.
But shit, man.
Far be it from anybody on the internet to miss a point.
Yeah. Yeah. How many tickets did you say that you left Pete for tomorrow's game, by the way?
Do you want some?
Pete was like, I'm going to ask him for like a box. And I was like, Pete, don't do that. He's coming in. It's very nice of him. You rule, buddy. We love talking to you. Thanks so much for coming in.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you guys for inviting me.
We all silly like the mayor.